Now that we have an understanding of what blood pressure is and how that impacts blood flow rate, we need to consider what are the influencers of that pressure that can also dictate the flow and flow rate. So there are a variety of different things that can impact that pressure. So the first is obviously our blood volume. Right? So blood volume inside of the system itself, right? And so that can be dictated by our fluid intake and or fluid loss, right? So the changes in blood volume, right, are going to dictate that pressure. So increases in volume are going to lead to increases in pressure. So if we increase blood volume, so I'm going to put this down here, increase blood volume is going to increase that blood pressure. Decrease in blood volume equals a, oops, decrease in blood pressure, right? So if we increase fluid loss, right, that is going to decrease blood volume, which decreases blood pressure, right? If I increase my fluid intake, that will increase my blood volume and increase my blood pressure, okay? Other thing that can dictate our pressure, it can be dictated by the heart and how much blood the heart is pumping out into the circulatory system. So this can be dictated by our heart rate, and it can be dictated by our stroke volume. So remember that these two things combined, right? That's all our cardiac output. So if we increase cardiac output, so we'll say increase cardiac output, that's going to lead to an increase in pressure. If we decrease cardiac output, that's going to be a decrease in pressure. Okay. Can be dictated by the resistance of our vessels. So that's going to be the overall diameter of the vessels. Mainly, that's going to be our arteries because those are the ones that we can change, right? So if we increase our diameter, okay, that's going to lead to a decrease in resistance, okay, and that is going to basically be a decrease in pressure, okay. If we decrease our diameter, that's going to be an increase in resistance caused by an increase in pressure. And then the last thing, right, can be the distribution of blood in the arteries and the veins, right? So we'll say blood volume in our veins. So this is something that might impact our venous return, right? So if we increase venous volume, right, that will lead to a decrease in our arterial pressure because we're taking that blood out of the arterial system and housing it inside of the venous system. So we decrease the venous volume, that will lead to an increase in arterial pressure because we are taking that blood volume and putting it into the arterial system. So all of those factors, right, can dictate the blood pressure, which can increase or decrease our flow rate, right? And we have the ability to sort of change all these things through either the use of hormones or the sympathetic, parasympathetic activation or innervation.